Is Sepi Golzari-Munro. She's the director of the environmental think tank, the Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit. Now, up and down, very long plenary, and we've just heard that Alok Sharma ended it by saying he hoped he'd have an agreement by later tonight, obviously not 6 o'clock, because that's getting very close indeed. What could be holding it all up?
Well, we have to look at what actually wasn't in the second draft text. And what wasn't in that text was some sort of agreement on Article 6, the carbon market agreement that's actually been open for 6 years now, since Paris, and they haven't been able to reach agreements so far. Now, this is an area where actually the old adage, no deal's better than a bad deal, might actually, fit the circumstances here, because if you get the carbon market rules wrong, you actually could possibly lock in cheating in emissions reductions going forward.
So
exactly.
The nation and private businesses count the same cutting emissions.
Exactly, and that would be really damaging to the integrity of the promises and pledges that have been made here today. So this is potentially, as I said, slightly concerning for climate campaigners if they see that actually there is going to be a text adopted tonight with the current state of play on the carbon markets and offsetting.
Can you briefly explain what the carbon market is?
So it's essentially a mechanism by which, say for example, I plant a tree, and that tree is worth 1 carbon credit because it sucks the emissions out from the atmosphere. Surely, if I sell that credit to you, only you should be able to count that as an emission reduction. I shouldn't also be able to count that because that's double counting. And that is a really critical loophole that's left here in the text.
And what do you do with these credits? They have financial value?
They're essentially, yes, they do have financial value, and they also can help in a transition towards clean energy, towards real emissions reductions. But actually another problem is that there doesn't appear to be a timeline by which this mechanism would actually close and end. So really, it possibly jeopardizes real emissions reductions out there in the world.
And just what about the basic question that we certainly heard from African nations and Caribbean nations in the plenary, just saying, where's the money?
Absolutely, and the finance has really been holding this up. We've heard that the US has not been stumping up, that the EU hasn't been playing its role, possibly missing the British negotiating team within its bloc. So the big developed countries are not really being seen to step up on the finance, and that could also be holding things up.
Thank you for now.